Hey everyone, this is Rushlock, and we're looking at Rixx Javix's latest post over on Evaganda. I thought it was a very interesting read today. I want to share it with you. It's titled, A Word About Quitters. We'll have a link to the post directly in the description down below the video, but let's get into it. I've seen a lot of quitting since I started playing Eve online back in 2008, and before anyone gets their knickers in a knot, I'm not talking about the people who move on, get busy, or otherwise leave the game. Life happens, and I understand that. No one expects to play a video game forever, and longevity is not the only goal for players to play. However, I remain, as always, shocked by the ways in which some EVE players choose to quit. If you spend any amount of time on EVE Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, or anywhere else outside the game, or even inside the game in some cases, you've seen the posts. The boycotts, the rage, the quitters' reasons, the extreme search for validation. That is it, exactly right there. Man, how many times do you see somebody make some kind of, outrageous change in direction and want to tell everyone they know about it? And the purpose behind that is exactly this. Rixx has hit it nail on the head. The extreme search for validation. I'm quitting and I'm taking my 69 alt with me posts. And here are the reasons why. I just wanted everyone to know my reasons for some temporary feelings of validation. Yep. These posts are everywhere and they seem to be multiplying. Look, I get it. Eve can be very demanding and involved. The pressure that comes from a game that never sleeps can be intense. Every moment you aren't playing is a moment that someone else is playing, and often that pressure comes with a huge downside, which leads to burnout. I feel it all the time, as I expect most EVE players do. That is just the nature of EVE. It never stops, it just keeps rolling, along with or without you, and once you've made the decision to jump off that train, you want everyone to know the reasons why. The thing is, no one cares. This is what got me reading this post, and I had to share it with you guys. It's so true, unfortunately, the people that need to hear this and need to see this, generally speaking, won't, right? This is not where they don't overlap with content that doesn't tell them things that they don't want to hear. Let's move on a little bit. I know the truth hurts, and sure, somewhere in the bowels of the universe, some machine is keeping tallies on why players leave EVE. Statistics are being compiled, and perhaps someday someone will look at those and wonder at them. But us other players don't give a damn about why you are leaving. All we care about is that you are leaving. We'd rather you stay, but we also understand that EVE isn't for everyone, and that sometimes people want to spend their time doing something else. That's fine. We'll miss you, and we hope that you stay in touch, but we also understand that you might not, and life moves on. There's another huge point here, Rixx will get into this in a moment in the post, but once you're outside that sphere, unless you're, playing other games with the same group of people, right? If you've got, a group that stays together both in and out of game and plays other activities, or just partakes in other activities together as a group, once you take yourself out of the ecosystem of EVE, no one longer cares about your thoughts and opinions and motivations and reasons, or your need for validation for your decision making. You can see this a lot on the EVE subreddit, right? You've got a significant portion of the user base there that hasn't played the game in years, but wants people to constantly feel that their opinions have been heard and their viewpoints. Let's see. But telling us, let me go down here. But telling us that you are butthurt over changes to the Orca or whatever new reason is popular at the moment, we don't care. I've been playing since 2008, and I've seen it all. I saw people jump off over the dumbest reasons a dozen times. Over walking in stations, over not having walking in stations, over trivia, over legit bad decisions, and ones that shortly were fixed, or changed yet again. Over CCP not having enough resources, and over CCP having been bought so they have more resources. Over changes to the community team, or firings, or roadmaps, or whatever the heck pisses people off next. This one's huge. This one really stood out to me. The people getting mad that, why can't CCP make large changes to the game that it needs and really improve the game and make it more future-proofed. And then, the exact same people will turn around and get angry. How dare they do such a thing? This is obviously in reference to the recent industrial mining changes and scarcity and, the supposed end of scarcity, but broken faucets got taken out, and so nerds got mad. And anyway, that's a whole separate video and a whole separate topic you can find on the channel if you're interested. But this was huge to me, yeah. It's just so interesting to me how the same people can get mad both ways. I'm so angry large changes don't happen, there's no new content, there's nothing helping the game, and then the same people get mad wait, what do you mean I can't have, free supers for everyone in my organization, and it actually takes effort to acquire them. I hate that, I don't want that, but they'll still get mad. The Pearl Abyss, ruined the CCP the day they purchased them. Oh man, I'm so glad this change came into the game. You know, it's both ways all the time. Rixx says, it's boring, and he's right. Like, I think users, and one of the reasons you see so much of this, because it gets a lot of attention, right? In some way, it's attention seeking. It's the validation search that Rixx mentions in this post. And so people will see these posts, they get a lot of responses, a lot of reactions, and so when it comes to be that next user's turn to quote-unquote quit and win Eve, they make the post because they've seen so many before them be successful with their posts, or what they perceive or what they evaluate as successful, right? Which is reaction and response. Players come and players go. It is the big churn. Man, I hope that is Rixx is making a reference to The Expanse. Maybe Rixx will hear this one day and post in the comments if so, but I want to know if the churn is a reference to The Expanse. Might be wishful thinking. At the time of this recording, the final season for that show is airing, so that's what's on my brain. You leaving isn't changing anything. True. Your boycott, your anger, nothing. Why? Because you don't play anymore. You are no longer a player, and Eve is for the players. This is what I mentioned before that Rixx would get back to, is once you remove yourself from the ecosystem of Eve, you become irrelevant, right? To that ecosystem specifically. And it's like someone going on with a big bang, like, well, I want to be, you know, extremely relevant for one more go. And so here's that attempt to do so. So go ahead and leave. I'm sure you have good reasons, and I hope you find the peace and happiness. But stop looking for validation from us players who choose to stay. You don't want to be part of us anymore? Good for you. The rest of us have things to do. And this is a huge thing that even goes outside the game, is people's need for validation. This happens when you see PvEers or PvPers talking about one another, right? They try to tear down the other's activity or the validation or validity. They try to reduce the validity of another player's chosen activity in the game because for whatever reason, and this is a large percentage of people, they feel like the only way to protect and add value to their own decisions is by tearing down and marginalizing the what others enjoy. Like, oh, you can't possibly enjoy that piece of PvE because it doesn't directly contribute to my PvP experience. Or how dare you run Abyssals because you're one less person for me to gank. Or how dare you enjoy going and PvPing all the time when I'm out here just trying to peaceably mine and be left alone in safety. Like, all these people are wrong, but you hear about them all the time, and they feel like their position is correct, and that it comes at the cost of someone else's enjoyment. And yes, someday down the road, I might quit playing Eve. And when I do, it'll be huge news. I'll write a ton of words about it, but nowhere in those words will I look for validation from anyone. My words will be about the amazing adventures I've had, the incredible players I flew with, and the amazing community I was proud to be a part of. Because that is how you leave, with dignity and respect for a game that has given you so much. Truth sandwich. And I agree. Like, I haven't read enough of Rixx's materials to make some outlandish claim that we see eye to eye on every single topic, but I cannot agree more with this post right here. And that overall message being like, quit wasting energy on things that don't matter. You want to make a I'm quitting post? Go ahead. It's fine. But don't kid yourself into thinking that you've influenced any significant number of other people to do the same, or that your 50 mining alts accounts are going to be somehow missed, or any weird stuff like that. Like he says, no one cares. Now, this seems very harsh and maybe very, very down in direction, and it's not meant to be. I wish I could talk to someone like that and be like, look, this is not a healthy way of doing things. This is probably bleeding over into your real life. You probably handle other issues and other topics in the same way. But generally speaking, there's always exceptions, but generally speaking, the rule is those people don't want to hear it. They don't want help. They don't want any improvement. They just want to be validated. And that's what this post is really about, is people's search for a meaningless validation from strangers that is going to have no meaningful impact on your life. So think about that next time you see one of these posts. Again, we'll be linking this post in the description down below, so go check it out. If you go to Evoganda here on the... Evoganda, probably. For propaganda. You can find out Rixx everywhere else in-game and out of game. But definitely check out these articles, and we'll see you all next time.